Good evening, everyone. It is time for some Saturday night football. We are at CCBC Dundalk Stadium in Dundalk, Maryland, for a much-anticipated high school football matchup between the St. Mary's Saints and the Mount Carmel Cougars. Thanks for tuning in here to AC Sports on YouTube. I am Griffin Bass, and I am joined alongside my broadcast partner tonight, Coach Charles Hebron. Charles, how are you doing tonight?
I'm fine. Yourself, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining me tonight. We are set for the kickoff here. Mount Carmel kicking off to St. Mary's. A little bit of a muffed return there, but it is fielded and finally brought out to about the 18, 19-yard line, it looks. And St. Mary's will get things started on offense. And Coach Charles, of course, head coach of the basketball squad at Rosedale Christian. Before that, spent 7 years at St. Francis with their basketball program.
Yes.
And
it's a little change of pace for me to get a little football in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're well-rounded. I'm glad. Glad we have you
Sports
here.
calls, you have to come out and make sure you support. Absolutely. That's my guy. You know. Let's see what we got going on here on defense for Mount Carmel.
Yes, and you had a chance to talk to head coach of the Cougars, Courtney Bridget Jr.
Yes, a little earlier. He was the defensive coordinator before last year. It was his first year as the head coach, so we have a lot of things in common. We had a nice little conversation.
Very nice, very nice. In a moment, I'll ask you to highlight some of the bigger names we should watch out there. Here is Pettibone, and he will complete his first pass on first down.
16-yard play.
Yeah, Casey Smith, number 5. Or they're going to say it was incomplete.
Oh, incomplete.
Oh, I guess he maybe caught it out of bounds. But St. Mary's is going to be aggressive to get things started. They were trying to go for a long pass there for the first play of the game.
Both teams coming undefeated in the league.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Mount Carmel coming off of a 12-7 win over St. Paul's last week. St. Mary's is 2-0 in the B Conference. Pettibone going to roll to his right here. Another pass play he's looking, and he will complete this one. This one will be a completion, and it is enough for a first down, 11-yard gain there.
Terrence Kuzer with the tackle.
I believe the pass was complete to Logan Sterling of St. Mary's and the Saints. All right, Coach, who in blue? Mount Carmel, of course, in the all blues, the all royal blue jersey, pant, and helmet combo. Who in the Cougars should we be looking out for the most today?
Oh, wow. Well, the one player that's not here, unfortunately, because of injury is Shawan Rice, senior, who's committed to Delaware State. He's there normally with their starting quarterback. But on defense, you got a lot to choose from. There's about 6 or 7 kids that are getting attention.
Pettibone going to try and fake the pass and keep it here for a loss of about 4. He's eaten up by about 3 Mount Carmel Cougars there on that play.
But the one big name to keep our eye out on is Zion Ellie. He's their sack leader for Mount Carmel. He's a freshman. Number 20.
Yes, and that defensive line really on both sides. The big boys up front on both sides for Mount Carmel will have to be on the lookout for. They were terrorizing St. Paul's a week ago. Had a chance to watch some of that game, and that was what really stuck out in how, because Mount Carmel had them shut out for about 3.5 quarters.
Right.
Before St. Paul scored a late touchdown to make that game 12-7. Pettibone in at quarterback. He will hand it off this time, and it'll go right up the middle for a nice gain of about 10 and erase that loss on first down. That was to their senior running back, Patrick Carey. Carey will be getting the bulk of the carries for for the Saints.
Carey with the bulk of the carry. That's a tongue twister for you.
But the biggest name to watch out for them is Carson Pettibone, their quarterback, number 19. He transferred over from Gonzaga High School. Down in D.C.
transfer, yeah.
Yes, and he's from Annapolis, from the area, and he actually went to the St. Mary's Elementary School, so he knew a lot of the kids on the team. And I asked Coach Jason Badroni of the Saints if that was something. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have
a little movement up front.
Yeah, looks like a false start here.
I love it to see when kids are coming back home to play in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
So often you hear about the bigger name kids leaving to go to the higher profile schools.
Right.
And it really hurts the local schools when that happens.
Yeah, that was what Coach Badroni said, because Pettibone had a lot of friends in the St. Mary's program on both the basketball team and the football team, and he would come to football games, basketball games in prior seasons, and then he called Coach Badroni and said he wanted to play, and he was like, oh, well, absolutely, we'll take it.
Absolutely.
As there's an incompletion there on 3rd and 9. Looks like he was targeting Casey Smith once again on that far left side. So that'll bring up 4th and 9, and it looks like the Saints of St. Mary's are going to punt here.
And the defense of the Cougars holds on their first possession. But this is what we expected.
More of a defensive battle here.
2 well-coached teams, very competitive. And like you said, the game will be won in the trenches. Who's going to be able to run the football? That's going to be the determining factor.
Yes, the 2 leading rushers are Pettibone and Patrick Carey on St. Mary's, who are top 5 in the B Conference coming into the week in rushing yards. They will punt this one away. It's a high punt. Doesn't necessarily have the distance. It's going to bounce right around midfield. and roll all the way to the Mount Carmel 44.
Takes the St. Mary's bounce, though. That helped.
Yes, it does. So decent starting field position as we are about to get our first look at the Mount Carmel offense.
I want to see who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Cougars today.
About 3 minutes past here, 9:04 left in the first quarter, still tied 0-0. We're playing at the CCBC Lions Dundalk Stadium for Mount Carmel Cougars in their homecoming game here, welcoming the St. Mary's Saints.
Some of the Cougars are wearing low pink. I guess that's the breast cancer awareness.
Yes, it is October. Nice to everyone loves pulling out the pink gear as they hand it off on the first play there for a run around the right side. It looks like that was Jermaine Downing getting the carry.
Yeah, senior Jermaine. Yeah. And we come out with Robert Martin Jr., 5'11" quarterback.
I believe Martin Jr. was playing a little quarterback last week. Had a big touchdown pass to Corey Rideout to get the scoring started against St. Paul's last weekend. As he fakes a handoff, might have been in some miscommunication with his running back there. But he'll keep it and gets back to about where the line of scrimmage was for no gain. So now it'll be third down. We'll have 3rd and 6 here for Mount Carmel and the Cougars.
Let's go, G, let's go!
Junior Robert Martin will be playing quarterback today for the Cougars. Downing to his left, and he's going to hand it off to Downing. Downing pushes ahead, and it looks like he got enough for a first down. What a second effort. Great second effort. It's going to be good for...
Let's see where the spot is. Let's see what they're doing.
Yeah,
oh, they're moving the chains.
The chains are moving, and they signal a first down.
There you go. Move those chains.
Yes, it is officially a signal to first down by our head referee here, Norm Henn, tonight.
You hear the cowbells ringing. That means
yes.
You know it was a first down.
Yeah, it's the homecoming game. Nice crowd as there's a first down play. They stumble ahead right back to the original line of scrimmage. No gain there. But a nice crowd tonight on a chilly night. Very crisp here in Dundalk, east of Baltimore City. It's about 53 degrees. We got a breeze of about 5 miles per hour. Feels a little bit stronger than that.
Yeah, a little bit stronger, yeah.
But it's football weather.
That's what it is. That's why I coach basketball. Indoors, heated.
Be a handoff on, it's like an end around here. Trying to get back to the line of scrimmage is Mount Carmel, and it looks like he does. I believe that was Cameron Connolly, senior defensive back and wide receiver, was motioning there and took the end around handoff. And it looks like they'll give him about a yard on that play, so that'll set it up for 3rd and 9. And I think we'll have to look for some more motion from this Mount Carmel offense. Both of their touchdowns against St. Paul's last weekend came on motion plays offensively, as they rushed back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like they'll take their time though.
They have to figure out how to block big 77 Davon Watkins. He's being a terror right now.
Yes, he is. As it'll be first pass play for Mount Carmel, and it is complete for a first down and more. Finally brought down at the 25-yard line.
No flags.
For a big first down for the Cougars.
It's a strong pass there.
Yeah, it looks like we do have an injured Cougar here. The tackle was made by number 33, Teddy Andros. And we'll take a brief injury timeout on the field right now, but very good field position for Mount Carmel and the Cougars after the big first down. Good to see. It looks like it was Jamari Thompson there.
He walks off on his own?
Yes, it was Thompson who caught the pass, and then...
We hate to speculate, but it may have just landed on the ball, got the wind knocked out, but he popped right back up, so that's good to see.
Yes, that's hopefully it was nothing more than just getting the wind knocked out of you.
1st and 10 on the 24-yard line. Let's see what's happening.
Gonna come out in the pistol, about more of a wishbone formation here.
Yeah, we're gonna call it the pistol wishbone.
Martin, high snap over his head, and that's gonna be, he's gonna fall on it for and lose a ton of yards there. That was after the big play to pick up a first down. They negate just about all of that, and they'll have to.
It's like a 22-yard loss.
Yeah, they'll have to reevaluate here now at the 44-yard line after, what you said about a 22-yard loss there. So second and very, very long for the Cougars. Do you have a second and very, very long play?
What you do
in your playbook?
In my playbook, we just try to get it back as much as we can. That's it. Chop it down, just like chopping down a tree.
Working the cut. All right, here's another pass play, and they're going to go deep, and it's going to be intercepted by St. Mary's. Bit underthrown by Martin, and it's going to be intercepted by Nick Golini, senior defensive back for St. Mary's and the Saints.
Did a great job getting under that ball.
Looks like he was targeting his wide receiver, Terrence Cowser Jr. Junior receiver on the Cougars, and a big interception for St. Mary's as they get the ball back at the 21-yard line. Now with 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Still 0-0. 7 minutes have gone, and we have 5 minutes left in the first quarter now. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Saints. Pettibone going to hand it off to his running back, Carey, again, and Carey's going to get tripped up by his own feet, but still a nice gain.
Stumbles for about 8 yards.
Yeah, it does. Very nice gain for Patrick Carey. And it'll be second and short for the Saints after getting set up by the Nick Golini interception. Golini, of course, is a Navy lacrosse commit. One of a couple lacrosse Division I lacrosse commits on this St. Mary's football team. Another handoff to Carey. He'll go right up the middle for a first down, gain of about 5. And yeah, looks like it's gonna be a battle of the trenches. Who can run the ball better?
That's what it was gonna
between
come
these
down
two teams.
Yeah. We've seen one successful pass so far. The defensive ends of Mount Carmel, I'm expecting to see a little bit more. Zion Alley and Vashawn Brown. Vashawn Brown, 44, closest to us on the defensive end.
And then
Ellie and 20 on the other end.
20.
He's in the stand-up 3 technique right now.
Pettibone signaling some motion, and he's going to hand it off to Carey once again.
And just as we call his name.
Yep.
44, Vashawn Brown with the tackle.
Carey trying to follow his big left tackle, Davon Watkins, 6'5", 315. Not sure why you wouldn't want to follow him. So first down carry for about 3 yards. Bring up 2nd and 7. Pettibone gets his play from the sideline, and we'll see if St. Mary's ever decides to start trying to air it out over the top, is because Mount Carmel is bringing a lot of pressure. Tough snap to handle, but he's going to react quickly and turn upfield. Pettibone gets a gain of about 6 there before being met by some of the Mount Carmel secondary.
Brings up a 3rd and 2.
Yes, 3rd and 2. So quick acting by Pettibone after the bobbled snap. So both sides now having some issues with snapping the football.
I wonder if the weather is playing a part with that.
Definitely coldest game of the year so far. Senior center Casey Cavanaugh, number 66. Don't expect to have too many more issues with him, as Carey will take the 3rd down handoff and stumble ahead for 3 yards, which is enough for a first. And St. Mary's continues to move the chains here after getting the interception. 2:24 left in the first quarter for another fresh set of downs for St. Mary's and their offense. But yeah, don't expect too many more mishandled snaps from Casey Cavanaugh at center. Just as I say that, bounces off the hands of Pettibone, and it'll be a very big loss on first down. They'll lose close to 20.
It's close, yeah. It's like you did it, I'll do it too.
Yes. The announcer's jinx.
That's it.
Very real. But I was going to mention that Casey Cavanaugh, he's an all-county and all-conference center for St. Mary's. However, that snap did look a little bit better. It might have just maybe Pettibone wasn't expecting it because it did hit him in the hands.
It wasn't truly over his head. But I'm sure the Cougars will take it however it went.
All right, so last time we had a 2nd and long, it was Mount Carmel with the ball, and they ended up throwing an interception. We'll see if St. Mary's has a little more patience and tries to just attack short, and that's what they'll do. They'll hand it off to Carey, and Carey once again tripped up right around the line of scrimmage, but he'll fall forward for about 2 or 3. So that'll make it 3rd and once again very long as we approach about 60 seconds left here in the first quarter. They are trying to get to the Mount Carmel 45, 44-yard line for a first down.
This 3rd down is about as long as War and Peace. Wow.
War and Peace.
That's a long book.
Okay.
It's for us older gentlemen.
I like that one. I like that one. War and Peace.
Now let's see what Pettibone has up his sleeve.
He's going to have Carey lining up at running back right behind him. And they're going to pass here. He's going to look deep. He steps up, and he completes his pass. He has his man for a first down.
And more.
Makes one Cougar miss before finally being brought down at about the 40-yard line for a huge gain and a first down for the St. Mary's Saints.
3rd and 19. They pick up 26.
That was Wyatt Cotton, a senior who will play some running back for the Saints, but will also be used in the slot mostly. And Coach Padroni said that he's one of the fastest guys on their team. Can run a 4.4 40. And
you get that kid the ball.
Yes, yeah. You do. Number 26 on the Saints picks up the first down. And it looks like it's the first quarter horn sounds, but we had a whistle before that. I think they were trying to stop the play because of the end of the quarter.
Right.
So that's what we have here. 0-0 after the first quarter, but some action on both sides. St. Mary's picks off an interception.
So we've seen both teams with a little success, just not been able to continue it and put things together as of yet. So 0-0, defensive battle. Well, I would expect nothing less from 2 undefeated teams in the conference. So
yes.
We're in for some good football.
Yeah, especially after looking at scoreboard in Mount Carmel's game last week was 12-7 against St. Paul's. It was 6-0 until about halfway through the 4th quarter before I believe Jermaine Downing broke a long run to make it 12-0.
Right.
And but yeah, low scoring game for Mount Carmel. They had a 16-14 win the week before St. Paul's. That was against Riverdale Baptist. But yeah, so Mount Carmel will always be in it because they try to keep these scores low.
Especially now without their starting quarterback. They're going to rely on defense and clock management.
And it all starts up front. We'll see how much terror those guys are able to cause up front for the Cougars.
And that's what I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see the 2 defensive ends from Mount Carmel start to make their presence known in this game.
Another handoff here to Carey.
We just pick it up.
Yep.
I think that announcer's jinx is real. Yeah, it's
looks like we'd have another Cougar down here. But Carey gets back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. So the Saints are going to come back to the sideline. Looks like it was Ely.
Yeah, Zion Ely in on the tackle, but a little banged up.
Yeah, but he comes back to his feet, which is good to see. And for more information,
the rule states that if the staff comes out to see you, you have to exit at least for 1 play.
Which is definitely smart. Don't want these young kids to push themselves too hard.
Right.
And for any more information about any team in high school sports, go to County Sports Zone, which is the home for schedules, scores, and standings for high school sports throughout Maryland. You can go to countysportszone.com today. Get all the information you need on high school sports. There's a snap to Pettibone. I'll hand it off to Carey. Carey goes around the left side, and he bangs ahead. Yeah,
yes.
Bangs ahead for a gain of about 7. Set up a 3rd and short for the Saints. And St. Mary's has been leaning on their senior running back Carey for the majority of this for most of the first quarter, and here now early in the second quarter.
Got a 3rd and 3 now. Let's see if the Cougars can get a stop here or if St. Mary's can keep pushing, keep this drive alive.
There's Cotton in motion and just some distraction as they handed off the carry, but Mount Carmel was not fooled. They made carry right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. So that'll bring up 4th down, and actually it was a loss, about a loss of 1.
Yeah.
So it'll be 4th and 4, and Saints offense is gonna stay on the field. They're gonna be aggressive here early. They'll believe in their defense if they aren't able to get it here, but more so they probably realize points are going to be hard to come by us in this one. So Coach Padroni and the Saints are going to be aggressive, so they're going to go for it here on 4th and 4.
Let's see what they draw up.
Pettibone going to fake the handoff, and he's going to try and keep it himself.
Up the
and
middle.
He goes up the middle for enough for a 1st down.
Yep. Once again, he needed 4. He got 5.
And that was a
great decision by Pettibone.
A little bit of I'm not sure if it was Pettibone's decision. I guess it was probably a run.
RPO,
run option.
Run pass option. Yeah.
Because it looks like he faked the handoff, then he looked downfield, and then he decided to just keep it and go. And it was a great decision. They pick up 5 yards on a 4th and 4. So once again, they'll hand it off to Carey, and they'll go right up the middle. But Carey,
they were ready that time.
Yes, they were. Looked like it was Jaquan Jenkins
and Detangan Pittman.
Detangan Pittman, both in there for that stop for the Cougars.
Pittman's 5'11", 250. That's what they call a fire hydrant in the middle.
Fire hydrant.
Just straight plugs up the middle.
Got 9:20 left here in the second quarter. Be 2nd and 9 for St. Mary's.
Zion Ely is back in the game, by the way.
Yes, he is. Good to see he's okay. They handed off to White Cotton there, and Cotton is brought down for a loss of 1. And so a couple long runs by Patrick Carey early, but the last 3 times they tried to hand it off to a running back, they've been met right at the line of scrimmage. So that Cougars defensive front starting to settle in a little bit more, it feels like. Number 44, Sean Brown.
Brown's another interesting guy. He's a junior, 5'10", 260.
Similar build,
yeah.
Yeah, to Pittman. All right, so here's 3rd and 10. Pettibone going to pass. He's got a lot of time. He's going to step up in the pocket now.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to escape. Rolls to his left. He's going to throw downfield. He's got his man for a completion. What a play by Pettibone, and what a grab by
number 17,
Joey Israel, for a nice completion and a 1st down for the Saints.
The Cougars were close to the sack, but he spun out of it. Great awareness by Pettibone.
Yes, it was. And their Saints are going to rush back to the line of scrimmage, try and get another one off quick while the Cougars defense isn't ready. And they'll hand it off, go right up the middle again for, this time hand it off to Cotton, and he'll pick up about 3 on 1st down. So now they're at the 11-yard line. And it looks like the Cougars are going to take a timeout. They want to give give their defense a chance to reset here. 7:47 left in the second quarter. It's going to be 2nd and 6 for St. Mary's offense after
from about the 10-yard line. That was a nice pass play by Pettibone.
Yes, it was. And that was really set up by Pettibone.
Eluded the tacklers.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped in the pocket and made a good decision.
It was good initial blocking, and then he stepped up in the pocket, and it definitely looked like he was about to go down, and he somehow escaped out of that. Yeah. Rolled to the left side and made a great throw across his body, finding Joey Israel, the junior, 6'3" junior, who'll play some wide receiver for the Saints, making the grab.
I'm sure that every time Pettibone makes a play like that, his coach is saying, yes, thank you for coming home. Thank you for coming back home. We really appreciate it.
And yeah, and I asked Coach if if it would be something he was worried about, having a new quarterback step into a new system, and he's and if chemistry might be an issue, but he said he was friends with a lot of kids on the team, and
that makes a big difference.
And he was he's from the area, so he slotted in very nicely, and it's he's led the Saints to a 5-0 start, 2-0 in conference play, so he's definitely settling in, and now he's got one-on-one with a defensive end. He's gonna dump it off to his fullback, who is gonna dive in for
any signal.
Yep, for the touchdown. What a play by Pettibone, and what a play by number 40, Cole Mishaw. Mishaw scoring the touchdown, and he gets the scoring started here.
The big fullback.
Between the Cougars and the Saints. And looks like it was Terrence Cowser Jr. on the defensive end for the Cougars, who was kind of caught in no man's land. He either had to cover Mishaw, and Pettibone was going to run it, or...
That's the advantage of the RPO when it's done properly.
Extra point is up, and it is good. Kicked by Andrew Marshall.
Saints take a 7-0 lead.
Yes, they do.
7:36 to go in the first half.
Andrew Marshall kicking that extra point, making things look easy. He kicked a 30-yard field goal a couple weeks ago to send, again, at Loyola, to send that game to overtime, which St. Mary's eventually won. So they have a lot of confidence in their senior kicker.
But like we were talking about Pettibone, because, like you said, he knows a lot of the players. Those players know his talent level already. So they're already confident in him. They already have his trust. So now it's just teaching you the X's and O's.
And those receivers know that if as long as they don't hear a whistle, they know they got to keep trying to get open.
They got a chance. Yep, he's going to keep the play alive.
So now we'll get a chance to see if Mount Carmel and the Cougars can respond. Looks like they were moving things pretty well on their first drive, and then there was a mishandled snap that went way over their quarterback Robert Martin's head, and then on that second and long play, he ended up throwing an interception. So here is the return now, and nice return for the Cougars.
Yes.
And a little bit of shoving. Yep. Oh, and there we have a flag, a late flag. A little bit of
sportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah. Not sure who that one could be on. Because there was a little bit of shoving on, looked like both sides. That was number 2, Cameron Connolly on the return. It was a nice return.
We have a Cougar down after that play.
Yeah, it looks like it is Connolly. So he's getting attended to. Referees are talking this one over, trying to figure out what the penalty flag will be on. Because it might have been a late hit on St. Mary's, because he was getting pushed towards the sideline, and then there was someone came in later.
But now the Cougars just have to control the ball for a while. Let their defense catch their breath. Let the coaches talk to them, explain what they're seeing out there to give the players more understanding. When you're playing against a quarterback of Pettibone's caliber, you may not have seen this before. So the coaches have to make sure they're able to relay to the players what they're actually seeing out there, what his strengths seem to be so far. Like you said, he's leading the Saints to a 5-0 record, so obviously he must be doing something right. So, and it's one thing when you watch a player play on film, that's one thing. When you see it in person, it's a bit different animal.
Yes, and really the best way to defend that is just keep the ball out of his hands. So
exactly right. So you control
a long drive,
right.
is going to be exactly what they be looking for.
That applause you hear is the player from the Cougars is up on his feet.
Cameron Connolly is standing under his own power. And they're going to help him trot back to the Cougars sideline. 7:29 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, he seems to be moving well.
Yep, there he goes, picking up speed.
Picking up the pace, yes.
Yeah, jogging across the field.
But that flag actually moved the Cougars into Saints territory.
Yes, it did. So they'll have it on the Saints' 42-yard line. So a 42-yard field to go for the Cougars.
7:29 left in the half. Cougars fan trying to get behind them.
They will hand it off to Downing, and Downing gets ahead. Downing never went down. I think they're going to signal he stepped out of bounds, though. So he was ready to keep going.
He was definitely ready to keep going.
Gain of about 5 for Downing.
Something about those small, quick, fast kids. You know, now you see him, now you don't.
And Downing's gonna, looks like he'll be the, he'll be the bell cow for this Cougars backfield, lining up to the right of Robert Martin. And Martin this time gonna use him as a lead blocker and try to follow him to the right side before he's met at the line of scrimmage and brought down by the Saints. And wow, looks like things are getting a little chippy here on both sides. So we have another late flag thrown. And it might be on the Saints again. Oh, no.
Holding. Holding on the Cougars.
Yeah, holding on the Cougars, so that's going to back it up. But if there's good news for the Cougars, it means it's still second down instead of what would have been a third down.
Right.
So 6:41 now left in the second quarter.
That penalty pushes them back on the other side of the 50, unfortunately.
Yeah, very long penalty. So maybe it must have been an unsportsmanlike because that backed them up about 15 yards.
It may have been 2 flags. I saw the ref signal holding, so it may have been a second flag that I didn't see.
Nonetheless, it is second and very long, second and about
almost 19?
Yeah, almost 19
yes.
for the Cougars. Last time they had a second and long, they threw an interception. Maybe they'll go a little bit more conservative this time. We'll see if they decide to hand it off to Downing, or if Martin keeps it. And they're going to motion Downing out this time. Oh, and he bobbles the snap, and he just has to fall on it. So they lose a couple more yards all the way back to their own 40.
Cougars' offense is not getting what the coaches want, I'm sure. These 2 bad snaps are really putting them in bad position.
So now it'll be third and about 28 for the Cougars. They're trying to get to the St. Mary's 20 or St. Mary's 32 for a first down. So they got a ways to go here on third and super long.
And the Saints are pinning their ears back and coming after them.
Yes, they will.
Here comes the blitz.
Yep. Martin rolls to his left, and he completes his pass. He finds his man for a nice gain on third and long. Won't be enough for a first, but it is
a
nice chunk. Yep. Terrence Kauser Jr. on the reception. And we have more flags in the backfield.
We have another flag in the BS.
Couple of them.
If that's on the Saints and unsportsmanlike, that'll give the Cougars a first down.
Yeah, and it looks like Bruce Dent, number 8 on the Saints. He's getting talked to by his teammates. So I think it was, yeah, so I think they called penalty on both sides.
Well, so they cancel each other out.
Yeah, so offsetting penalties there. So it's going to bring up fourth down after the nice completion by the Cougars.
4th and 13?
Yeah, 4th and 13, maybe 14 for the Cougars. They have a decision to make, yeah.
So do you go for it here, or do you punt? What do you do?
It's a tough call. I mean, maybe, yeah, it's a tough call because you'd be giving it to the Saints with pretty decent field position here, right around midfield, and it looks like they are going to have their punter on. It's Charles Minnis. Back to punt.
I think the punt is the right play, especially if you can get a solid punt and pin them closer to their own goal line.
Yeah, I think that is the right call right now, especially on a 4th and long.
And it's still early. It's only second quarter. Got plenty of football to play.
It's Shane Toll back to return for the Saints. Punt is away. It's a high punt. It'll land at about the 30. Takes a
Cougar bounce.
Yes, it does. And it rolls all the way to the 22. Try and flip the field position a little bit and give the Cougars defense a chance to stop Pettibone. Got 5:15 left.
The drive wasn't successful as far as getting points, but it did take some time off the clock, give their defense a chance to regroup. So hopefully we'll see the Cougar defense that we've all expected to see this first half.
And if you want news on, any sports, Baltimore sports, period, go to PressBoxOnline.com for the latest on Ravens, Orioles, college, and high school sports. PressBox tells more than the score. They tell the story. There's a first down carry by Patrick Carey. He brings it all the way back to midfield for a very nice gain on first down for the Saints.
28-yard run.
Yep, and that'll completely erase the punt. Huge run by Patrick Carey, and first down at the Saints 49.
We're not going with the huge carry by Patrick Carey anymore. We're going to change it up to the huge run.
I think I'm going to be selective with the usage.
Carry. I was loving the double carry.
I'll be more selective with it for his next carry. So now here's Patrick Carey with another carry
there it
across
is.
The 40 for a first down and then some.
That could be your signature move, the double carry. All great announcers have that signature play.
Well, the credit has to be given to the players. Anytime a guy like Patrick Carey comes along, he makes it easy.
Yes, that helps.
But, yeah, Carey really getting going here in the second quarter now.
And like we said earlier, it's the team that's going to be able to establish their run game is going to be the victor here.
Yep, Mount Carmel looks like they're really loading up the box now as Pettibone going to fake the handoff and roll out to his right. He's got Cotton for a completion, first down. And another first down for the Saints. They're just going to keep moving the chains here on this drive. They've ran 3 plays, and they've picked up 3 first downs. Very deep into Cougar territory, and so they get set to go at the Cougars' 22-yard line. 4.5 minutes left in the first half here. 7-0 ball game. Saints moving the ball well, looking to add on to that 7-0 lead. A quick pass, this one to Wyatt Cotton in the slot, right up the seam for another St. Mary's Saints touchdown. That'll make the score 13-0.
Pettibone is looking like the real deal.
Yes, he is. Nice fake handoff, quick throw to Wyatt Cotton there, running a seam route just right up the middle. Maybe it was supposed to be a slant, but he got the ball so quickly he just went straight upfield.
Right. Pettibone's decision making is top notch.
Another kick by Marshall is good. 14-0 is the score.
So as a coach, this is where you go back and second guess yourself. Could we go for it on that fourth down? Could we have done that? Would it have really made a difference? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Cougars have to do something to change this momentum right now. Old Mo is on the Saints sideline. We got to get it back to halfway because the Saints are rolling right now, and the Cougars have to come up with something to stop the bleeding, as they say.
Still a lot of time left, though. 4:28 left in the second quarter after the Wyatt Cotton touchdown. That makes it 14-0. And Cougars offense going to look to respond once again after the past 2 offensive drives for the Saints have been nice long drives that have resulted in touchdowns.
And this is the part of high school sports where coaching makes such a big difference.
This one returned by Connolly. Ooh, and Connolly almost gets slipped up. He's going to try and loop around.
Still on his feet.
Yeah, and turns it into a solid return. He ran around. Nice to see Conley back out there, too, after
being banged up a little earlier.
Yeah, after being banged up earlier. So he gets it out to the 24-yard line after the return.
But something some people seem to always forget is that despite how big these people are, they're still children. Mm-hmm. Emotions play a big part in these games. So you're down 14-0. Everyone wants to win, obviously. But if the coaching staff of the Cougars can't figure out something to, get some positive vibes going on that side of the field, it could end up being a long day for the Cougars.
Yeah. Well, what are you telling the guys right now in the huddle?
That it's one play at a time. There's no 14-point play that exists. You got to make one play at a time. And just chip away at the lead.
It's great advice. Here's Connolly in motion. Martin's going to hand it off to, this time in at running back is Will Scott Jr., and he is met behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. Met there by number 75, Dylan Carl, another one of those big boys up front for the Saints.
Dylan's got good feet. You see him dancing? He did a nice little dance out there. He's got good feet. But as you see, the momentum on the Saints side, they're dancing, they're celebrating, they're up, they're playing loose.
Second and 2nd and 10 now for the Cougars. Martin with a quick pass, complete to the left. It's Terrence Cowser. Terrence Cowser Jr. with the reception.
Gain of about 7.
Yeah, looks about right. So I'll bring up 3rd and
maybe
3rd and medium.
4. Yeah.
Yeah. 3rd and a long 4. Three receiver set for the Cougars. Martin going to roll to his right, and he is going to be brought down. I think they're going to say it's an incomplete pass, so it's able to get rid of it and avoid the big loss. But a ton of pressure there that time from Cole Mishaw. Mishaw, one of the, because it's a big roster here on St. Mary's, but Mishaw is one of the few guys that plays both ways. You saw him score a touchdown, the first touchdown of the game to get things started, and there he goes with a near sack.
He came in untouched.
Yes, he did. Cole Mishaw from the Saints. 6'1", 200-pound junior. Coach Padroni very happy to know that he has him around for at least another year.
It makes me wonder if the Saints have done an excellent job of film study. They seem to know what the Cougars want to do today.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of confusion. They had it as 3rd down on the chains, but it was most definitely a 4th down. So the Cougars, deep in their own territory, are going to choose to punt it away here with 3:28 left in the 2nd quarter. And it'll be a timeout by the Saints. Looks like they weren't set. They had too many players, and could have been an opportunity for the Cougars if they were able to get that snap off. But you don't have your normal center in. You got your long snapper in, so he wasn't quite ready to snap it.
And that 5-yard penalty would have given him a 1st down.
Yes, it would have. So that could have been huge for the Cougars. But Coach Padroni and the Saints decided to play it safe, and they just take their timeout, make sure they don't get caught with the too many men on the field.
As a coach, you go back and you'll watch a game afterwards, and you'll see the small things that coulda, woulda, should, change the way that the game played. And something like that could be one of those things that could come back to bite the Cougars.
Mm-hmm. Still early, though, save a lot of time to make up for it. Still
3:28 left in the 2nd quarter, so still a lot of football left, but you got to figure out a way to change the momentum.
Yeah, and it's a pretty unique coaching matchup that we do have on both sides, because Coach Padroni spent 4 years as an offensive lineman with the Miami Hurricanes, and from 1989 to 1992, won a couple of national titles with the Hurricanes.
The U.
Yeah, and then Coach Courtney Bridget Jr. of Mount Carmel Cougars played college football at Hampton, and was also from Baltimore. Played high school football at Dunbar. So there's a snap, and it's going to be blocked.
It's blocked.
Big block for the Saints. Scooped up, and he is brought down at the 2-yard line. An excellent big play for the Saints.
And now that missed opportunity for that flag to get the 1st down really hurts.
I believe it was Teddy Andros.
Number 9.
Yeah. Yep. Well, number 9 picked up the loose ball. That's Steven Schumer, who's one of their do-it-all special teams guys. He was in the right place at the right time, picked up that football, nearly brought it back for a touchdown, but was blocked by Teddy Andros. And Andros gets his 2nd block kick of the season. He blocked the kick earlier in the year as well.
1st and goal from the 2.
Yep, and they're just going to try and sneak it ahead, try and punch it in.
And there's the signal.
Yep, and there's the signal. It's a touchdown. And the Saints go up 3 scores here in the 2nd quarter. 3:05 left in the 2nd quarter here. And Saints are beginning to take a commanding lead. Was that Pettibone that punched it in?
Yes, quarterback sneak.
So Pettibone gets the rushing touchdown. Has one through the air as well. Marshall, his kick is up and good, so it is 21-0 here. 3:05 left in this one between the Cougars and the Saints. So now does So now, does the message in the huddle from Coach Bridget change at all? Is it still you still got to take it one play at a time?
No matter what, you still got to play it one play at a time. You know, you got to do somebody's got to make a play. That's what he's calling on now. He's calling on his playmakers now to come out here. Somebody make a play for me. You know, whether you're a receiver, you're a runner, you're a blocker, whatever the case may be, someone make a play that we can lean our hat on, that we can start building one play after the next. Because right now, you can see the body language will start changing. You know, we'll start pointing the fingers. You know, you got to kill that before it gets started. And you do that by making a play.
Here's the kick is away and takes an awkward bounce. Oh, and Connolly unable to come up with the ball, still loose. And the Saints are going to recover it in the end zone. And to be back-to-back scoring plays for St. Mary's.
A celebration flag, I'm assuming, after the fact. I see the flag out there, maybe taunting or something to that effect.
Looks like it was Wesley Acton, senior special teamer, able to fall on that ball for the touchdown. And it is a massive lead for the Saints here in the first half. And yeah, we'll see what the flag is. Might have been, probably will be an excessive celebration call, as we have another Cougar down on the field right now. Exactly 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter here.
Now, they haven't posted the score on the scoreboard yet. So I'm wondering if they're saying that they couldn't advance the ball.
That could be right.
Yeah, maybe it may
Unless,
be
yeah,
that
because
as soon as
they
he
might
touches
have,
it.
yeah, but the ball was kind of kicked around a little bit. Yeah, so I think it was still loose in the end zone. We'll see. We'll see what they decide to make the call here. But we're in a bit of a primetime window here for the B Conference.
Yes.
7 p.m. on a Saturday night. Only game going on after a couple games. After a couple games last night. Look around as a Concordia Prep also sitting atop of the B Conference standings. They're at 3-0 after a big win over John Carroll. They were trailing 14-0 early last night against John Carroll. In the first quarter, they were down 14-0, but went on to score 30 unanswered.
30 unanswered.
Yep,
wow.
and they won that one 30-14. So Concordia is 3-0 in the B Conference, and they will actually be taking on St. Mary's next week. St. Mary's looking to stay undefeated in the conference and overall.
That should be a really good game.
That'll be St. Mary's homecoming game next Friday night down in Annapolis. So that should be a very, very good game.
Concordia has built a quality program from the ground up.
Yes, they
it's
have.
Wonderful to see.
Coach Battaglia and the Saints looking to repeat as B Conference champions after doing it in 2021. And St. Mary's looking to knock them off. Coach Padroni knows what it's like to be in that conference championship arena. Came in as the head coach in 2015 and then won a championship in 2017, won another one in 2018, and then they were runners-up behind Pilati in 2019. So Coach Padroni knows what it's like, and he wants to get a new group of guys in that championship and see what it feels like. And it looks like he might have a squad to do that again.
Yes, it definitely looks that way, with Pettibone leading the way. You know, for those that have played high school sports, whether you're football, basketball, baseball, when you have a chance to leave as the champion of something while you were there, it's an incredible feeling that you'll take with you no matter where you go the rest of your life.
Got a Mount Carmel Cougar down on the field right now.
Still
He's being
down,
attended to, yeah. But a little bit more around the conference. St. Paul's, they're continuing to struggle this season.
We got the Cougar cheerleaders on their way out to the field.
Getting prepared for the homecoming halftime performance.
With the mascots.
But St. Paul's, they lost last night to Curley, 28-7, and they are 0-3 in the conference after losing to Mount Carmel last week. And
the players finally up and moving toward the sideline.
Yep, it was Cameron Connolly. He's being helped off. So unfortunate to see Connolly wanted to be out there because we saw he's been a little banged up.
Yes.
And so now we're getting ready to resume play. And they're going to give the ball to, so it's going to be the Cougars' ball. So that touchdown is negated. So no touchdown for the Saints. They do still lead 21-0 though. So after the kickoff, flag must have been against must have been against St. Mary's. So Cougars will get this drive started at their own 35. So much better field position than they would have had. And so now new quarterback also in for the Cougars. He'll throw it out to the left for a nice first down. Gain of about 16, make it 17 for Mount Carmel.
So I got some definition from one of the referees. The Saints player did not get possession of the ball cleanly, so it was considered a touchback.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's what happened.
Gotcha. So very unfortunate for St. Mary's there. They could have had a touchdown, but ended up not. Oh, and hit on his blind side is the new Mount Carmel quarterback. It's James Malone, freshman, who is in at QB for the Cougars.
That Saints defensive line is really coming after him now.
Yes, he just had a nice completion there to Corey Rideout the play before, but that time he got hit on his backside, and you know he's a young kid as a freshman, so he will have to just learn a little bit more pocket awareness.
He's going to
have to
avoid
get
some eyes in the back of his head if they keep letting that come in.
Fortunately, that one was called incomplete for James Malone. Malone once again back to pass. He's going to roll a little bit, look deep, and he's nearly had his man broken up by Izzy Crockett of the St. Mary's secondary. Intended receiver was Terrence Cowser Jr. It was about a 50-50 ball, and Crockett got up just high enough against the much taller 6'1" Cowser.
Now, they haven't changed the down marker, but down marker still says second down.
Should be third down.
Should be third down. There it is. He's changing it now. It's third down. Right. 3rd and 10.
4 receiver set. Malone going to pass. Hand it off to his running back, Downing, and Downing gets tripped up over his own feet, but he'll fall forward for a gain of 9.
It's about 9, yeah.
So 4th and 1, and at this point,
so I think this is an easier decision.
Yeah, no question. Have to try and go for it.
But the Cougars have changed their quarterback and has come out slinging the ball.
Yes, he has, especially as a freshman. 2:03. As St. Mary's defense, they're going to take a timeout and talk things over before this 4th down play. Clock stops at exactly 2 minutes left.
It's a whole new look for them. So I'm sure this wasn't part of the game film that they had.
They were prepared to stop the run, which they're doing a very good job of.
Yes.
Before.
Right.
Now, freshman quarterback James Malone going to come out, and he starts slinging it all over the place.
Give him a new look. Yeah. Say, oh, wait, who is this guy?
So, St. Mary's defense going to talk things over while the Cougars offensive coordinator is Warren Johnson. He'll get a chance to try and draw up a couple more plays for Malone in this new look Cougars offense. As they come out in the pistol wishbone formation. 4th and 1. They're going to hand it off. Oh, and he's hit.
He ran into a wall.
Yep, hit right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. And the Saints were ready. They stopped Will Scott Jr. there right at the line.
He may have actually lost a yard. But, you know, in all of my years of coming to high school football games and being around football, I've never seen this. The Cougars didn't bring a band. They brought a DJ that plays music like it's the band. That's interesting. I guess you don't need to bring that second bus, I guess, with the band meets. Like, if you didn't know that's what it was, you would swear it was a nice little band over there.
Yeah, I know. It was like, and they were playing. Yeah, it sounded good.
Sounds good, yeah.
Do you think the team plays better when they have a real band here? Here's a handoff to Carey. Carey, nice hit by Cougars linebacker there. Thomas Gibson with the tackle on Carey.
I know the one thing that I do know, the more support you have here helps swing the energy sometimes in your route. So, yes, you get the sound of the band, but you don't get those cheers and from your classmates there.
You don't get the volume of applause.
Right, correct. You don't have that kid screaming your name.
First down carry from Patrick Carey for a gain of about 4. So brings up 2nd and 6. Minute 20 left in the second quarter here. Pettibone going to fake the handoff and try and pass. He's going to roll to his right, and he's going to keep it as he
gets down,
runs ahead for about 5. So 3rd and short.
It was good defense downfield by the Cougars. And it's things like that in the half, the coaches we talking to about the positive plays that were made. Just got to learn how to figure out a way to string those together. Got a 3rd and 1.
And they're going to hand it off to Carey. Carey has done what he's done in just about every handoff, and that is get positive yardage. That time a gain of 5.
When the Saints go off that right side, it's positive. That right guard and right tackle are really moving the Cougars defensive lineman back.
Which is quite impressive since their left tackle, Davon Watkins, is the biggest kid on the field.
Big 77.
Which, probably makes sense because the Cougars are putting their freshman Zion Ely against Watkins.
Right.
There on that side. That right is the right edge. So that right side of the offense is open. Here's a pass. He was looking for Wyatt Cotton, a little bit underthrown from Pettibone.
Almost intercepted.
Yeah, almost intercepted. Great coverage by Terrence Cowser. Great adjustment while the ball was in the air.
Cowser's a junior, 6'1", 175. Solid ball player.
Yeah, I think he's been their leading receiver so far tonight. 16 seconds left here in the half. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for St. Mary's.
I would like all commentators to know that when you come to work for AC Sports, they buy you lunch during halftime. Depending on where your game is, you may get a quality cheesesteak from Captain Harvey's. You may get concession food. It depends on where you are. So when you get the call to come out and commentate, jump on it. You're going to eat good.
That's much appreciated, John. Thank you.
He's got way too much time.
Pettibone's got a lot of time. He throws it across the middle. Too high for, looks like it was Izzy Crockett.
Again, if there's a bright, shining streak here in this cloud of 21-0, it's the secondary of the Cougars. They're playing just fine. A couple plays that they gave up earlier, but for the most part, they're doing a good job.
Yeah, and it's a little understandable. Anytime you're asked to cover for, more than 5 or 6 seconds.
That's exactly right.
Which Pettibone
he's getting as much time as he wants.
So 3rd and 10, 10 seconds left in the half. Pettibone now, once again, a lot of time. So
he's got forever.
Yep. Probably wants his guys to go deep. Oh, and that one batted at the line of scrimmage. There's 1 second left on the clock. But there's also a flag down, so we will see what that is as well. So 1 second left. It'll be a 4th down play as the St. Mary's offense backs themselves up. So likely going to be holding. So I'll bring up 4th and 20. And they're going to have to run something here with 1 second left in the half. Ooh. Big loss on that penalty. It'll be 4th and 26. Maybe. And the holding runs the clock as well, I guess.
It runs the clock. Yep.
Under 2 minutes. So that ends the half. 21-0. St. Mary's and the Saints lead it over the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Cougars. It is the Cougars' homecoming game, so they will be looking to really bounce back here in the second half.
Have a little extended halftime show.
Yes. But it's been all Saints here in the first half. We will take a break. We'll take about a 12, 13-minute break here at halftime.
Yeah, it's Captain Harvey's time.
Don't go anywhere because we do have some second half action on the other side. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, welcome back here to AC Sports on YouTube. Got a nice high school, some Saturday night high school football under the lights between St. Mary's and Mount Carmel. St. Mary's, it was all St. Mary's in the first half. They lead it 21-0. A couple touchdowns. They've been led by their senior quarterback, transfer from Gonzaga High School, Carson Pettibone, who was responsible for all three. Couple through the air, finding his fullback Cole Mishaw, and then his receiver Wyatt Cotton, and then he with a QB sneak on the 1 yard lines, rushed one in, and that is how we got here, 21-0. And for any more information about any other high school sporting program, you can go to County Sports Zone. It's the home for schedules, scores, and standings for any high school sport throughout Maryland, and that is at countysportszone.com, so go there today. Second half kickoff is away. Mount Carmel going to get things started on offense, and a nice return here for the Cougars. They bring it back.
About a 14-yard return?
All the way out to the 35, and a late flag, which we've seen a couple of those, and looks like a St. Mary's player comes up with the ball, but does not look like there was a fumble there. Griffin Bass and Coach Charles Hebron on the call with you here this evening. And it looks like a penalty on St. Mary's there. So even
face mask.
Even better field position for the Saints, or excuse me, for the Cougars, as they get things started here in the second half.
This possession is critical for the Cougars.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, so how did that halftime huddle go?
If I'm the head coach, the first 2.5 to 3 minutes were expletives and combinations that probably don't work well together. But then you calm down and you focus in on the task at hand, which is one play at a time. Let's get some kind of momentum going our way. Let's play our type of football.
Freshman James Malone in at quarterback for the Cougars, and he goes down with a sack. In on the sack, Andros.
Another high snap.
Andros all over the field for this St. Mary's defense, and another high snap for the Cougars, which is kind of how things started spiraling for them. It was they were moving the ball in their very first drive, and then a very high snap. They lost about 20 yards and have not gotten anything going offensively, except for their last drive on offense in the first half that ended up on turnover run downs and an interception for the Saints. And he's going to go all the way. It's a pick six for St. Mary's. That is Nick Golini.
Another late flag was thrown in.
Golini gets his second interception of the game, and this one he takes all the way to the house for a St. Mary's touchdown. And, we do have a flag. Points are yet to go on the board, so we'll see if it stands here.
Yep, I think it's going to stand.
So, blocking the back, it looks like.
And this is the one thing that I'm sure the Cougars coaching staff was trying to get their players to understand, that the Saints are playing so relaxed right now because they have the lead on the scoreboard. So you have to do something to make them re-engage. And right now they're just playing free.
So touchdown does stand. It is about a 60-yard pick six for Nick Golini. He gets his second interception of the game.
The extra point is good.
Extra point by their kicker, Andrew Marshall, is up for good. He's 4 for 4 in extra points tonight. It is 28-0 Saints. As we are 50 seconds into the second half, 11-10 to go here in the third quarter. And Mount Carmel going to try and reset once again on offense. It was James Malone, the freshman. It was Robert Martin. Played most of the first half in it as quarterback, and then for that final drive, they decided to switch to their
freshman.
Yeah, to their freshman.
It was looking good for the first 3 or 4 pass plays.
Yes, it was. He was looking very good. Got him down into the St. Mary's territory. Then they went for it on a 4th and short. Weren't able to get it. And then now on this opening drive in the second half. So the penalty. Okay, so there we go. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff here.
Yes.
So the penalty was against Mount Carmel. So the kickoff's going to be from midfield here. But it's been all Saints, and we'll see if they go out with Malone. I feel like you have to at this point. You have to stick with, after switching to a freshman quarterback, you got to stick with him.
Right. If not, you're setting his back. Confidence it could be hurt.
Downing on the return, and he is tackled at the hit at the 20, and he goes down around the 25. And once again,
another flag.
Yeah, another flag.
Both teams have to clean this up.
Mm-hmm. As it feels like referees might get a little bit of shortness of breath at some point, because they've been blowing the whistle a lot.
Got to worry about them shoulder injuries.
Face mask on St. Mary's that time.
Okay.
So that'll
15 yards.
tackle into the return there from Downing. So instead of getting things started at the 25, they should
be right around the 40.
Yeah, it should be.
There he goes. He's walking it off now.
So they will move 15 yards upfield, so much better field position for the Cougars.
So that's the one thing that has not been a problem for the Cougars. Is the field position has not been a problem. They just haven't been able to do anything positive with it when they had the good field position.
So it is Malone at quarterback. Downing is the running back to his right. Excuse me, it's not Downing. It's their other running back, and he's got a nice carry. He's got room to run. That's Will Scott Jr. up the left sideline.
Will Scott is moving.
And he goes all the way for the score, and the Cougars are on the board here in the third quarter.
Now, had that play happened before the pick six, you might have a different vibe going on the sidelines now. But that's big.
That is
the Cougars
huge.
Needed that. Something positive to hang their hat on. That is big. Great run.
And Will Scott Jr. went almost untouched, hit that hole in about a halfback dive, and he found the sideline, and he went all the way. St. Mary's was not able to track him down.
Didn't even get a hand on him.
60-yard touchdown for
the 5'8" junior.
Will Scott. And once again, Will Scott lining up at running back to the right of Malone. They're going to go for two here. Mount Carmel will. Be a pass to the right side, and they got it. 2-point conversion is good. Jamari Thompson.
A couple positive plays for the Cougars.
Yes, junior slot receiver.
Let's see what the defense can do. Keep the positivity going. Change the momentum. Game is not over.
No, it is not. 28-8 is the score. 10:48. So a lot of scoring here in the second half already. We're only a minute and 12 seconds in.
Right?
Yeah, minute 12 seconds in.
Got a touchdown for each team. Some of the beauty of high school sports.
Some flash scoring.
And you get both extremes. You get no scoring at all, or you get a whole bunch of scoring.
So it's a little bit opposite of what kind of we expected at the beginning. We thought it was going to be, a slugfest in the trenches. Who was going to run the ball better? But it has been 2 passing touchdowns for. Well, it was a nice 60-yard run there for Mount Carmel, but 2 passing touchdowns for St. Mary's, and then the pick 6.
And then the quarterback sneak for Pettibone.
For Pettibone. So led to 28 points for St. Mary's, 8 points for Mount Carmel. So they kick it off. Going to be returned by St. Mary's. That's Shane Toll. Toll's brought down by a couple Cougars. And now
33-yard line or so. 1st and 10 for the Saints.
Nice tackle by Cameron Hebron and Robert Martin by Mount Carmel.
You think Cameron and I are related?
I was going to ask.
It's definitely possible. Hope my commentary isn't biased toward one team or the other.
So not that you know of, you're not.
As of now, I do not know, but we're going to find out.
Okay. Get some reporting. Here's and Carey loses it.
Carey drops it.
Yeah, and he's able to pick it right back up. So Patrick Carey, he saw that hole, and I think his eyes widened there, and he kind of let loose on the ball a little bit.
He saw his counterpart just break one for 60. He's thinking it's my turn.
Fortunate to pick it right back up off the bounce. So no gain on that one for Patrick Carey.
Very fortuitous bounce for Patrick.
Pettibone going to hand it off to Carey. Once again to the right side, and going to have a late flag on the far side. Some of the Mount Carmel fans around us.
Well, thinking it was a false start.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think it is against, yeah, it's definitely against St. Mary's. So they call it hold.
Holding. Wow.
So that's even better than a false start for if you're Mount
a Cougar
Carmel
fan.
yeah.
Yes. But what a beautiful, brisk night for some football.
Mm-hmm. Nice full moon. And yeah, clear night. So we got a nice view of the moon here at CCBC Dundalk Stadium, home of the Lions.
Home of the Lions. Nice turf field.
All right, so it is 2nd and 20 for the Saints after the referees got that figured out. Patrick Carey goes ahead for a gain of about 3, and it is both sides are certainly getting into this one.
Yeah. I think that touchdown play gave Mount Carmel a little more juice. You know?
Both on the sidelines and on the field, because the fans are
getting in it.
Yes, they are.
Okay. They were waiting a whole half for something to cheer about. We got 3rd down and 15 for the Saints. Let's see what they come up with.
15. Pettibone and Carey in the backfield. Got 3 receivers set up, and then you got
a stack over here.
Yep, Cole Mishaw lining up in that kind of fullback tight end hybrid spot as he's been lining up all game. Pettibone going to roll out to his right, and he's going to look deep. He's got Wyatt Cotton once again up the right sideline for a massive gain on 3rd down. And that brings them all the way deep into
45-yard gain.
Deep into Cougar territory at the 23-yard line.
That running back wheel route out of the backfield. And Pettibone was able to hold onto the ball long enough for that running back to clear the defender and just lobbed it over his head.
Mm-hmm. And Pettibone just looks very comfortable back there, whether he's rolling relaxed, out, whether he's sitting in the pocket, whether he's running it, as he hands it off to Carey here. And Carey stumbles ahead for about a gain of 8. Gain of 7 or 8 there on 1st down. 8:38 left here in the 3rd quarter. St. Mary's leads at 28-8, and they are driving once again. And they're showing that they can score from either side of the ball right now, whether it's defensively with the pick 6 we saw a couple moments ago, and they can run it at will as well as throw it when they want to, too, as they hand it off to Carey.
And once again, all the runs are off the right side.
Mm-hmm. Carey just bounces off that right side and then eventually cuts up field. And it seems like it's for at least 5 every time, if not more.
I'm real eager to see the other contenders for Player of the Year in the B Conference, because if there's someone out there better than Pettibone, I want to see that with my own eyes.
Pettibone going to pass this time, looking to the left. He looking for his receiver. Oh, now we got some shoving in the backfield as well.
But no flags.
Yeah, no flags. It was the two big boys, Ely and Watkins. Davon Watkins, the left tackle for St. Mary's, and then the right edge rusher, Ely, for
Davon Watkins should have 3 numbers on his jersey. He's a man and a half.
But yeah, I think good call there by the referee.
Didn't get out of control.
Yep.
Yeah.
So after the incompletion, it is 2nd down, 2nd and goal to go here as they hand it off to Carey. Carey trying to get to the left edge here and is able to get back to probably the line of scrimmage for no gain. So it'll set up 3rd and goal from the 10.
So again, once again, no success running to the left side, but they're having success running to the right side. So I don't know what scheme or what stunt actions or whatever they're doing for Mount Carmel on their defensive right side. It's effective there, but it's not working on the other side. I don't know if it's a personnel situation or a scheme, but the Saints are having success running off the right side. And that play there showed that you're only going to go to that side.
Cougars trying to get some late substitutions on defense here before the 3rd and goal play. Here's Pettibone, and once again going to roll out to his right. Looking for Cotton, and he's got Cotton for another touchdown. That's Cotton's 2nd of the game. And the
12-yard
Saints,
touchdown pass.
And the Saints take a 34-8 lead here at Dundalk, CCBC Dundalk Stadium.
That is not the answer the Cougars wanted.
Looks like they might have had a chance there to get a massive stop on third down after two good stops on first and second down.
Get a little momentum going back on their side. The Saints have definitely gained control of this game.
But Wyatt Cotton finds himself open in the end zone, and he's been one of Pettibone's favorite targets tonight. As the kick from Andrew Marshall is up and good. 5 for 5 on extra points. 35-8. 7:42 left in the third quarter of this one.
We have some TikTokers going on behind us. TikTok is taking over the youth.
It's.
Can you do any of those dances that I see on TikTok?
I mean, I can probably do the very simple ones.
The simple
ones where, like,
okay.
you know, your feet don't. Where you know your feet aren't moving so much, and I just kind of got to move my arms a little bit.
I gotcha.
And just be like, there you go.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. So you're not rhythm.
And that might even be an oversell.
Oh, that's oversell. Okay. My 4-year-old daughter is always TikToking in her mind.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she's better than me. She's got to be far better than me.
She's far better than her daddy. I can tell you that.
Here's the kickoff from the Saints. It is Downing on the return. Oh, and he runs into one of his own guys. But still a nice return, though. Gets it out to the 30. And, you know, if high school sports isn't enough for you, you can go to PressBoxOnline.com because you get Baltimore sports, period. That's it. You got, and they do some high school coverage as well because you can get the latest on the Ravens, Orioles, college, and any high school sport in the area at PressBoxOnline.com. PressBox tells more than the score, they tell the story. A lot of great stuff over at PressBox. You can also find me over there sometimes on working with Glenn Clark on the Glenn Clark Radio Show.
There you go.
Daily, 10 a.m. to noon at GlennClarkRadio.com.
We got to have you guys come out and cover a game at Rosedale Christian.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a great idea. See Coach Charles Heblin. Handoff on first down for the Cougars. And they're going to stick with Will Scott here. Saw a lot of Downing in the first half, but after Will Scott broke that 60-yard touchdown, they want to lean on him. He gets 5 on the first down carry.
I'll promise you this. When you do come to Rosedale, it'll be a lot warmer than it is here. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this is not a good. This is much colder than, because, you know, I saw 50s. You know, you're thinking, okay.
It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
When you're standing still in 50s, it's different.
Pass from Malone to receiver Thompson there, and Thompson is met right after the reception.
Great
He'll
defense.
lose yardage, yeah.
Solid tackle. Textbook.
Perfect coverage on the screen pass there by St. Mary's defense. 6:40 left here in the third quarter.
3rd and 5.
So he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage off the screen there. Did not lose yardage. They got trips right here on the near side, and they're just going to hand it off. That time Downing gets the carry.
Picks up about 3.
Oh, excuse me. It was Will Scott. My fault.
Oh, he picks up 4. Okay, 4 from 1.
So very nice carry there from Will Scott, their junior running back. So 4th and 1, and yeah, when you're down here 35-8, and in the second half, you definitely have to go for it at this point.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what they have coming out in that.
That hybrid wishbone.
Yep.
That was not successful the last time they ran it. Let's see what they got this time.
And they're going to hand it off to Scott, and Scott is hit behind the line, and then he tried to get a second effort there. Yeah, we'll see what they say. It looks like, nope, yeah, they're saying he got it.
Are they moving? Yes.
That far, the referee on the far side is saying he definitely got it.
Move the chains is what he said.
Because it looked like it was going to be close, but more towards he didn't get it. But then that referee on the far side said, no, he definitely got it.
I'm going to blame this on not bringing my glasses. So we'll say great spot, Mr. Referee, because I couldn't argue with you one way or the other.
So fresh set of downs for the Cougars. And this time it is Downing on the carry, and he tries to get to the left side. Yes. Yeah, and he picks up a very nice gain for 9, probably 9.5 there.
So there has been plays that the Cougars have been able to put together. It's just that there's been too many mistakes in between. But we got a good drive going here.
I will say their offense, I feel like, is looking at least so far in the second half. It definitely has, but it looked a little better than it did last week against St. Paul's, because they had a lot of some offensive, discipline issues. They had a couple false starts, a couple holds. I feel like they've been much more sound fundamentally so far, especially in the second half. There's a nice carry by Downing. He picks up about 3 and enough for a first down on 2nd and short. 4:35 left here in the third quarter.
The Cougars are constantly going with this trips look to the right side. I'm curious if this is the runs are setting up a play action pass or something coming up.
Yeah, you would think so, because the Saints are really only defending that trips with two guys.
Yeah, and help over the top.
And you're not going to have to throw it, though, if you're going to keep picking up 9 on first down.
8, 9 yards on first down.
Another nice run by Downing. Jermaine Downing, the senior running back. And it's been a very nice 1-2 punch the Cougars have put together on this drive between the junior Will Scott Jr. and then the senior Jermaine Downing. Malone takes the snap, and this time he fakes it. Malone's going to keep it, and Malone gets enough for a first down on 2nd and 2.
Yes.
About a 4-yard gain for Malone on his first carry of the night. .340 left now in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Cougars from the St. Mary's 35-yard line. And yeah, they're coming out with that trips formation. And still, St. Mary's really only going to use 2 defensive backs right on top of it. They do have linebackers,
they're playing it as a ladder, one low and one high. Mount Carmel going to keep handing it off, though, on so
first
far,
down.
yeah. Yep. So far, it's nothing but runs out of it.
That time they get about a gain of a yard. Downing once again on the carry. And now Downing going to come out, and they're going to put Will Scott with the fresher legs back in. 2:50 left in the third quarter. And now they're going to split up that little receiver bunch that was here on the right side. So now they got 2 on the right side. And it's Cowser Jr. on the left side all alone.
Solo, yes. Who had the big catch and run earlier.
Malone going to look towards Cowser.
Yep.
And he finds him for the completion. And they get a gain of about 4 or 5.
Brings up 3rd down.
Well, they're not going to give him that much.
Maybe he stepped out sooner than before the push. Yeah.
All right, so it'll stay 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 or a 3rd and long 7 for the Cougars. And once again, he's going to look to the left. And Malone just threw that one too quickly. Looking for the receiver on the left side. So that brings up 4th down. And once again, they're going to have to go for it here. Much tougher 4th down to pick up than the 4th and 1. Trying to get to the 25-yard line. Trying to get to the St. Mary's 25-yard line for the first. 2 minutes left now in the third quarter. Low snap. Malone's able to handle it. Oh, nice pump fake. Cuts across the middle, and it's tipped and intercepted by St. Mary's. Nice interception by Gabe Villatoro. And St. Mary's gets the ball back. And that was probably the best drive that Mount Carmel had put together tonight. And they come up short with trying to go for it on 4th down, results in an interception. And St. Mary's will take over once again. And this St. Mary's offense has not been stopped since their opening drive. Just under 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
I'm curious to see what type of offense the Saints come out with here now, having the big lead this late in the game. Are they going to stick with what they've been doing? Or are they going to go with just straight running the ball to try to eat up clock?
Yeah. It would make the most sense, obviously, to keep handing it off. Just run that clock down. And they've definitely got a running back that's more than capable of doing that with Patrick Carey. Carey
he's been impressive tonight.
Yes, he has.
Sure. Especially going out that right side.
So it would be a timeout. Mount Carmel, I believe, took the timeout. And, so what do they want to talk about in this timeout, you think, Coach?
That things aren't going where we want it out of the second half, but we still got to keep fighting. You got to stay positive. We got to build on a play. We may have lost this game, but we're playing for the next game and the game after. When you're building a program like what they're doing here at Mount Carmel, every play matters. And you're not going to win them all, but you still want to put your best foot forward. You want to go out there and showcase what you can do.
Yep, it is a program that they are building here. They believe they were in the C Conference a year ago, and then stepped up. Nice long pass from Pettibone, and he's got his man for a very long completion, and he is brought down inside the 10-yard line. That was Logan Sterling.
I guess I got the answer to my question. Are they going to pound the ball? Or are they going to keep playing the same way?
Yeah, they are still looking to set off some more fireworks tonight. And Pettibone is just putting on a showcase at this point.
It looks like the Saints come out here to make a statement.
And to this point, it has been a very loud statement.
Very loud.
Couple exclamation points so far. Looking to add more. Right here, hand off to Carey, and he'll attack that right side. He stumbles ahead for looks like about 2 or 3.
Yep. Second and goal.
Second and goal from the 7 or 8 yard line. And but yeah, Carey definitely more comfortable running it to that right side because I think he got the handoff on the left side, but he still wanted to go that right.
Back, yeah.
Little
counter direction. Yeah.
Fake handoff to Carey. Pettibone.
He's got a choice
roll
of
out, and he's going to decide to keep it, and he is going to spin and in to the end zone for the touchdown. 41-8 is the score.
That's 8-yard naked bootleg from Pettibone.
So hard to defend when you know he can beat you with his arm, and then
he kept his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, kept the threat of the pass open. The DBs had to stay with their assignments, and he was able to crawl in the left pylon.
Gets his second rushing touchdown of the night. He's got 3 through the air, 2 on the ground, and it has been.
He's definitely been impressive.
Yes, he has. And it looks like they're going to go. So now St. Mary's going to go for 2. 43 seconds left here in the third quarter. They're going to line up under center, and he's trying to pass it. Looking for.
And for those who are trying to wonder why would they go for 2 with the big lead, it's not necessarily a battle or a disrespect thing. It's about, hey, here's an opportunity for us to work on something against a different opponent.
Trying to.
If we don't get it, it doesn't cost us.
Was that like offset I formation they were trying to roll out?
Yes.
Just definitely something new.
Something different. Well, let's try it.
Trying to get it to the tight end Logan Earl there. That's who Pettibone was looking for.
It's one of the rare misses Pettibone's had today.
Yeah, he has been locked in. Getting it to who he wants it to.
And that's the one thing that you try to stress to your high-level players. When you're on the field or on the court, you want people to know that you're clearly that guy. And Pettibone has definitely impressed me tonight.
Here is the kickoff from St. Mary's there. Mount Carmel going to let it bounce, and Downing has to just fall on it. Yeah. Bit of a kind of a dead field, I guess, because Mount Carmel is. I think they've been trying to play it off the kickoff off the bounce a couple times, and it just has not worked out for them because they're hoping that it would take a high bounce and just pick it right up off of that, but it has not worked out for them so far. It was almost a disaster late in the first half. That almost led to a St. Mary's touchdown off the kickoff.
Yes.
But so now they will get it started at their own 16-yard line. Mount Carmel and the Cougars offense comes back out. 35 seconds left here in the third quarter. The freshman James Malone in at quarterback. Will Scott Jr. is the running back to his left. And he will hand it off to Scott Jr., who
picks up about
runs
3.
ahead. Yeah, gets about 3 on that one. So that'll bring up second down.
At this stage in the game, there's no point for Mount Carmel to get into a hurry up or anything like that. We got a player down.
Yeah, I believe it is the running back, Will Scott, so we'll look away. And that'll give us also a chance to kind of look ahead for both these two teams. Mount Carmel will be back. Will be home next Saturday. They'll take on Curley. Curley, who is 2-1 in the conference, in the B conference. They're coming off of a win over St. Paul's last night. They also have a big win over Boys Latin, and that lone loss is to the defending champs, the defending B conference champs, Concordia Prep, 38-18, 2 weeks ago. Or excuse me, that was last week.
Last week. Yeah.
Last week. And then Friday, and then the week after that, Mount Carmel will be taking on Boys Latin at Boys Latin. And then for St. Mary's, they have a big matchup with Concordia. And I had a chance. I asked Coach Padroni, if he had any thought about this game, or if he's taking it one game at a time. And he said he said he was taking it one game at a time, but he did say that we're kind of looking forward to that one.
Absolutely.
Because they lost to Concordia twice last season, once in the regular season, and then again in the conference playoff semifinals.
Right.
So it could have been in a close one, because it very well could have been St. Mary's playing for a conference championship last season. So that'll be a big one. The
coach has to give you the politically correct answer. That game has been circled since the schedule came out.
and it looks like it is going to certainly be a very good one to watch, because you got 2-3-0. You're going to have 2 3-0 teams coming in the conference play. Concordia's 3-0. St. Mary's, as long as they can hold on, it looks like they should do so with 41-8. But crazier things have certainly happened in football. That is true. So don't want to say anything, as they're going to help Will Scott off the field. And then so after that Concordia St. Mary's game, Concordia will travel to Curley. They're actually going to have 3 straight away games to close out the season, which could be tough. But does it being an away game ever really affect? Do you think that really affects?
Depends on how far the travel is. When I was spending my time at St. Francis, the game that I'd never look forward to was when we played against Goretti. You had to drive to Hagerstown.
Ooh, yeah, that is a drive.
In the dead of winter, it's always snowing when you get out there. It's never a fun trip.
Their last game of the season is against Severn in the rivalry game, so not too far of a trip, though.
Right.
Yeah, for St. Mary's in Annapolis. There's a nice completion for Malone. Yep. He's got Kauser. And Kauser's got a lot of room to run. It's finally brought down at the 30-yard line. Very nice throw and catch and run by, that is Terrence Kauser Jr., 6'1", sophomore receiver. Excuse me, junior receiver.
Junior, yep.
And that is how the third quarter will come to an end. And Mount Carmel trying to any momentum that they can find.
You got to have something to build on. That's it.
And that is something good to build on as they go into the fourth quarter. It was a nice tackle, though, by St. Mary's linebacker, Kevin Burzins. Burzins won.
I love to see that. Despite the big lead, they did not give up on the play. He kept chasing down the receiver and ended up making the tackle. But back to your question about the road games. Some gyms, like we're going to Calvert Hall, and they have arguably one of the best student sections in the business. We went there one time. There was a young man dressed up as Moses. It's unbelievable.
And then what did they do the thing where he parts the student section?
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. And then all the different chants. But again, depending on how old your players are, how often they've seen that type of thing before. I don't know if it's that bad for football, because you're outdoors, you may not get that big of a crowd. But basketball, it definitely can be an issue.
And St. Mary's obviously traveling for this one a little bit.
Yes, all the way up from Annapolis. Yeah.
Yes. So, and handling it very well. So, I'm sure they're not going to let it affect them too much. Hand off to Downing here. First play of the fourth quarter. The first down carry goes for about 2.
Maybe 2,
yeah. After the long catch and run by Kauser to end the third quarter there.
And something in games like this where, the game is pretty much determined, everything you want on film. So a kid like Hauser who's looking to get offers to play beyond high school, you have this play, you know, on film now that your coaches can send out to college coaches to let them know what your capabilities are.
Hand off to Downing there, and he wants
Smart decision.
Yeah,
Smart decision.
Avoids the contact. It was Austin or a Palmer Austin in the area for St. Mary's.
There may have been a miscommunication with the blocking up front because the Saints had someone on both sides of the line, basically in the backfield as the handoff was made.
So he takes the loss of about 3 or 4 there. Yeah, loss of 3 on that one. So 3rd and 11. Freshman Malone at quarterback for Mount Carmel. He's been doing a solid job. He does have a couple interceptions, but he's gave a little bit of a spark to this Mount Carmel offense that really didn't have one at all in the most of the first half. There's an incompletion, a lot of pressure from the St. Mary's front on that one, and
right up the middle at that.
So
right around the quarterback's feet.
A lot of guys in his face and around his legs. He just knew he had to get rid of it. Brings up 4th and 11. They will go for it. Got 4 receivers set this time for the Cougars. We're going to drop back the pass.
Looking across. Flag down.
Yeah, looking across the middle. And, yeah, we do have a flag in the secondary.
That may be roughing the passer.
Or in the backfield, excuse me, yeah.
So when we're off here, we're going to interview the Mount Carmel athletic director. In this 50-degree night, he's out here with shorts on. So I want to know just, you know, how's he able to do that? Very intelligent guy, so I know it's not a mental situation, but it's a little too chilly for me to have shorts on. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, those people that, you know, like to wear shorts throughout the winter. It's certainly impressive, I guess.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, I'm not going to try it, but I'm definitely impressed. And he has no qualms sitting on the aluminum bleachers that I'm sure are a little less than 50 degrees. Yeah.
Oh, yep, there. Yeah, I see where he's at now.
Yeah.
Yep, he's sitting right there on the bleachers.
Just
does not mind
it.
it.
Doesn't mind at all.
So it was a turnover on downs. St. Mary's gets the ball back, and they're going to put in a couple of their reserves in. Fresh quarterback as well as a fresh running back, and a nice carry on first down there for.
But I got a flag down. I got a hold on the Saints.
For the senior Ty Sands. So, yeah, it's going to be unfortunately negated for Sands there. And they also put in Steven Schumer in at quarterback.
So Mr. Pettibone's day is over.
Yep, so Pettibone
was
very
impressive.
Nice. Yep, 3 touchdowns through the air, 2 more on the ground. 35 offensive points.
And he had command of the offense all night. So the concerns early on about him being able to get control of the offense and things of that is not a concern at all after what I just watched.
Cotton going in motion, and they're going to hand it off to Ty Sands. Sands gets back to the line of scrimmage, but is hit by just about every single guy on the Cougars defense.
Yeah. That brings us to 10 minutes to go in the game.
Yes, 10 minutes left. Steven Schumer in now at quarterback for the Saints. Schumer is a Georgetown lacrosse commit and a guy that Coach Padroni couldn't say enough good things about because he does just about everything for them. He's their holder. He plays on all their special team plays.
Got to have those utility guys, those glue guys. Yep. Absolutely.
And he's their backup quarterback, which is one of the most important positions. So now second and long for after the holding penalty.
Saints roll out the pocket.
Yep. Incomplete, looking for, that was Wesley Acton of St. Mary's.
So the Saints have schemed their offense to roll away from the pressure in most cases. A lot of the QB passes on the rollouts to their strong side, to their right, so they're throwing on. It's been effective for them all night.
It has. And Schumer getting some reps in, the junior backup quarterback. Looking at who could potentially be their starting quarterback next year. Be a handoff, fake handoff.
Fake it.
And Schumer going to keep it, and he was trying to throw it. He might have been across the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And, yeah, here comes the flag.
Here comes the flag, yeah.
Would have been a very impressive play if he was able to pull that off. He was looking for Matthew Brenner, a junior receiver, 6'5" receiver.
And he overthrew him.
Yeah, and he overthrew him. It was a good idea, but I believe he was across the line of scrimmage, so I think illegal forward pass. And they're going to back up St. Mary's again here, and it's going to bring up 4th down. Nine minutes, 15 seconds left in the game now. St. Mary's leads at 41-8. Here at CCBC Dundalk. We are here for Mount Carmel's homecoming game.
Great night for football, I can say that.
It is. It is a very good night for football. St. Mary's going to punt it away after the 4th. Ooh, and doesn't catch the snap. He's able to get it away, and they'll be able to push Mount Carmel back about 15 yards, so it'll end up being about a 15-yard net punt for St. Mary's.
Now the Cougars have a chance now to, again, add some more positive plays to the reel.
Yep, good field position too. They can try and get a couple more points. Not a whole lot of moral victories.
Right, but again, you want to work on things. You want to get things. That's that. Find out why things aren't working.
Try and get some momentum as they move into next week against Curley, another good B conference team this season. As we see the standings start to kind of
take shape.
Yeah, start to take shape here. As it looks like fake handoff from Malone. And Malone's got a big hole that he's going to hit, and he's going to be tackled inside the 5. Nice run for 3. James Malone.
Yes.
Everyone bit on the fake handoff, and he was able to hit that hole fast for a nice, about a 35-yard gain, 35-yard run for Malone there.
And this is why you try these things. They haven't ran that play all night. Now you put it out there. And it's, as you can see, it's effective.
We're going to see Jaquan Jenkins, a sophomore running back in the backfield as they set up this wishbone wishbone formation.
This is like the wishbone pistol or something.
They will hand it off to Jenkins. Jenkins is going to go ahead and into the end zone.
As ref,
for a touchdown.
Touchdown, Cougars.
Now Carmel able to jump on the board again here in the second half. Make it 41-14 before they send out their, although they're going to go for 2 once again. See what kind of play they decide to run here. They ran a pass play on their last 2-point conversion. I believe they connected with Jamari Thompson, junior receiver, who ran a slant route. And we do have an injured Cougar who's going to run off under his own power. That's Deshaun Dismel. So Dismel comes off the field, one of their offensive linemen. Downing is the running back. You got 2 receivers on either side as they're going to motion Cowser Jr., and we're going to get a false start against Mount Carmel. And it might have been that new offensive lineman they brought in.
Get the message. They didn't get all the information in the huddle. Yep.
So they're going to keep the offense out there, though. Go for the long 2-point conversion from the 8-yard line. And they're still communicating across that offensive line for the Cougars. Thompson in motion. Snap to Malone, and he connects with his man, but not enough.
Short. Yep.
Yeah, and so that false start does really come back to bite him a little bit. Unable to pick up the 2-point conversion. So the score remains 41-14. 8 minutes, 18 seconds left now in this one. After the nice run from Malone, and then Jaquan Jenkins able to punch it in for the Cougars, get their second touchdown of the game.
While we have this brief break, I'd like to thank my wife for driving over and bringing my winter coat. It's definitely not going to work out with what I had on earlier. So, dear, if you're listening, thank you so much.
Got to have those people in your life.
Got to have those people.
Yes.
Yes. Especially when you're hard-headed like me and, no, I don't need enough. After she told me to take your coat. Nah, John's got a coat for me. That didn't work out well.
Well, I'm glad you're comfortable.
Oh, yes, it helps. This has been great.
Looks like we'll see if they try to, or at least St. Mary's preparing for a onside kick.
Yes.
They only have one guy deep.
Let's see what they come up with.
And then we'll try to onside it. And no one picks it up quite yet, and we're going to have a bit of a dog pile here. Mount Carmel says they have it.
It may be Mount Carmel. Got my eye on the ref, see what he raised, which way he points. We're going to pull the binoculars out and look into the scrum.
Yeah, Mount Carmel has it.
Mount Carmel ball. There you go.
Well done by the Cougars. They
again a little more positive.
Not giving up, which you gotta definitely love to see as you
absolutely
as the coaching staff.
You don't want to see any quit ever. Yeah.
So St. Mary's defense is gonna have to stay on the field after lighting up the touchdown, and more great field position for the Cougars as well.
3 receivers out left for the Cougars.
Malone going to look deep.
Up top.
Looking for his man, and just overthrown. Cowser unable to get to it.
He landed awkwardly, but he's back up.
Back up. Number 8, Terrence Cowser Jr., certainly leading the Cougars receivers in targets. Definitely been their favorite. Definitely been both quarterbacks' favorite target, and Malone.
He got a step on him, just couldn't get it on. He had to reroute a little. The DB played good position, and he had to reroute a little, but that was almost a completion. So just over his outreach hand. 2nd and 10 for the Cougars.
And it looks like St. Mary's going to preparing to bring some pressure. Yeah, and it looks like they were too ambitious with that pressure. They drew a false start.
They drew a false start, yeah.
So it'd be 2nd and 15. And so now you have this quarterback. Do you have a quarterback? Well, I mean, you're missing your first-string quarterback, yes. Which is probably the big story with this Mount Carmel offense. Shawan Rice, you said he's committed to Delaware State.
Delaware State, yes.
And so you're missing him. I believe it was Robert Martin, number 7, who was quarterbacking the team last week against St. Paul's, led them to a 12-7 win, including he had a touchdown pass to Corey Rideout in that one. But then we saw him in the first half here, and they decided before the final drive of the first half that they had to switch to, and yeah, we got some late contact there. And they're signaling it's against St. Mary's, looks like. I think it was Mishaw getting into it.
And that's at this stage in the game, that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
You want the clock to keep moving.
So penalty against St. Mary's.
And the St. Mary's crowd does not like that call, not one bit.
Crowd doesn't like it. They think it was a face mask that by Mount Carmel that initiated the.
It's always the guy that's retaliating that gets caught. Never fails.
But so Coach, what I was trying to ask was, have you seen enough from Malone here in the second half that you think you have to keep rolling out with him?
So yes, I personally I've seen enough that he would be going in to get the starter reps in practice on
Malone
Monday.
Passing again, looking for Rideout, and yeah, we got some defensive pass interference. Yeah. Should be the call.
Yeah. Two hands on the receivers, ball in the air.
Sophomore receiver Corey Rideout, the wideout.
But unlike the NFL, it's not a spot foul.
So they'll just tack 15 yards onto
which will give the Cougars
the
a first down.
Position.
Yep. But so, yes, the offense has seemed to move more efficiently now with the quarterback change again, and that would lead me to start off my reps and practice on Monday with him as my starter. But it wouldn't be a case in point where my starter is getting 85, 90% of the reps and my backup's getting 10. It would be more like a 60-40 split.
Gotcha.
Because we're going to most likely need both of them to play again.
Right.
And that's what happens when you have a young quarterback.
So Malone, the freshman, is going to take a sack here. Untouched off the edge. That was Teddy Andros. Bit of a he was very getting his name called quite a lot in the first half. A little bit more quiet here in the second half, but comes up with a huge sack there.
Yes, and I'm happy with the quarterback's decision there to just take that and lay down. Why throw the ball up in the air for grabs? You have a chance to still score.
And I think I have to take that back because I think Andros had the block punt. Oh, that was
the block punt.
I believe that was here in the second
yes.
half.
Yes.
So Andros has been a big part of this
and
defense.
Here comes the
bad snap.
And that's what plagued them earlier in the first half.
Mount Carmel just has to fall on it. They lose about 15 there. 6.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. It'll be a third and very, very long. They're trying to get to inside the 10 as they're about to take a snap at the 39-yard line.
So in this situation, just trying to get some yardage back. You're going for it on fourth down no matter what. But you're going to try to cut this in half at least.
We approach the 6-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. 41-14 is the score. Good snap that time. Malone gets it out quick. Finds his receiver, Thompson. Thompson's got a couple blocks.
Picked up about 9 or so.
Yeah, a little bit of a wide receiver screen, but further downfield. So they able to pick up a nice gain. Jamari Thompson, junior receiver.
Fourth and about 19.
And Thompson caught the first 2-point conversion for Mount Carmel. So trying to get him involved a little bit more. But yeah, another fourth and very long. Malone going to step back, looking across, and he's got Cowser. Cowser bobbles it, able to come up with the catch.
And gets him back to the original line of scrimmage, but not enough.
Yeah, not quite enough. Good play, though, and he got rocked a little bit by a couple St. Mary's defenders. Kevin Berzins was in there, as well as a couple others. And in this late in a game like this is the last thing you want to see.
Yeah.
Especially, I believe it is Terrence Cowser Jr.
Yeah, after the game he's been having.
One of the few bright spots on the Mount Carmel Cougars team that we've seen.
We got 5:19 left. 14-41. Saints are up. They will continue being undefeated. Pushes them to 6-0 now. Is that correct?
Yes, 6-0 overall. They'll be 3-0 in the conference.
And it definitely seems as if, them and Concordia Prep are the teams to beat in the B conference.
Yes, it is. So Concordia and St. Mary's will both be 3-0 atop of the B conference here. St. Paul's is at the bottom. They're 0-3. John Carroll is 0-2. Boys Latin having a down year as well. They're 0-2. Curley is 2-1, so they'll be in second place. And then Mount Carmel will be 1-1 in the conference. And for any more information that you want about any high school sport, you can be sure to go to County Sports Zone, the home for schedules, scores, standings for all of the high school sports throughout Maryland. So be sure to use countysportszone.com and go to that right now. Right now is probably a perfect time. Well, after the game, don't switch away from AC Sports quite yet.
That's exactly right. That's it.
And then after that, after you go to countysportszone.com, then you can go to PressBoxOnline.com to learn more about the Ravens, the Orioles, college sports. It's Baltimore sports, period. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Everything. You got college. You get the best coverage of Navy football, Maryland football, and all the other
Loyola.
Yep, Towson, Loyola, and they'll cover college sports in the area, high school sports in the area year round. So go to PressBoxOnline.com.
If you want to know about Morgan State's homecoming game, PressBox.com.
There you go. PressBox tells more than the score; they tell the story. So that is where you want to be.
Saints ball,
for your
first
latest
and 10.
News on sports in the area. Schumer going to hand it off on the first down here.
Yeah, I think this will be the straight run offense.
Yes, deep in their own territory. You got 5 minutes left in the game.
2 first downs and the game's over, barring any kind of stoppage for anything. I do not foresee Mount Carmel using any of their timeouts.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Let's get out of here. No more injuries. Nothing else. Go back to the drawing board.
Does set up some pretty exciting matchups for next week. Obviously, we keep mentioning St. Mary's taking on Concordia, and then Curley. So Curley and Mount Carmel will be facing off next week, which will be the battle between the 3 and 4 teams in the conference.
Right.
Hand off to Sands. Sands trying to get to the edge there. Goes ahead for about a gain of 3. So it'll be third and 8 for St. Mary's.
What do you have, 3 weeks left in the season?
Believe so. I believe each team should have about 4 games left.
4 games left.
Yeah,
right.
so about 4 weeks.
So this time of year, everything matters. Everything counts.
Boys Latin, I believe, was off this week because there's 7 teams in the conference. So Boys Latin was off. I believe that's the last bye week for any team this season. So
Mount Carmel has a very important game against Curley next week.
They certainly do.
That's for seeding purposes.
So you have 3 0 teams at the bottom, but they'll be in it because Mount Carmel still only has one conference win.
One conference win, right. Yep.
Third down carry goes for about 4. So that makes it 4th and 3. Yeah, once again, we're going to have a player down here.
That's the one thing about the conference competitiveness, if you will. You know, it makes every team feel like they have a shot starting the year. You know, there may always be a front runner depending on, if you get a petty bone, join your conference, something like that. But everyone else feels like, hey, we got a chance.
And it's been the MIAA has been very competitive just throughout this year, in particular, as the clock is stopped here. 3.5 minutes to go in this one. But obviously, St. Mary's, they had the overtime win over Loyola. Concordia, they opened up their season against Gilman, who was probably one of the favorites to come out of the A Conference. And they lost in overtime in that opening week against Gilman. And just all the matchups between the B and A Conference. So it maybe tries to, you can start an argument for maybe they should just merge the 2 conferences and try to have one big conference in the MIAA. Because which I think would probably be, I think that could only be good for both, for all the schools involved.
The only negative to it that, well, not the only negative, but one of the negatives to it is that some of the B conference schools may not be as dedicated to sports as some of the A conference schools are. So then you may end up with some lopsided games where you run the risk of more injury. But to have a 16-team conference, could be real interesting.
Yes.
It could be real interesting. But the other side to it is you also have these rivalries now within the conferences that you don't want to lose that.
True. Very true, very true.
That was one of the things that Baltimore is missing now that Notre Dame High School closed, IND, because the IND Mercy girls basketball game was a major thing for girls sports in Baltimore, and they played for over 100 years. So now that IND's closed, we've lost that. And these were C conference schools at the time. So, those rivalries are big here in Baltimore. And you don't want to lose that.
Yes, that's very true. The rivalries are great for, just the community of the Baltimore area here. Saints will punt it away on 4th down.
Good punt.
Thompson on the return for the Cougars. Tries to break free.
Unable to shake loose.
Yeah, tries to break free, but brought down by 3 St. Mary's Saints on the return. So 3 minutes, 13 seconds left as Mount Carmel will try to string some things together for what should be one final drive here in the 4th quarter.
But the MIAA B Conference looks like the cream of the crop is St. Mary's Saints.
St. Mary's, and we're really going to find out who it will be, at least heading into the playoffs next week when against
Game
Concordia.
of the week next week.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that I was not called next week to commentate that game. I was called to commentate this one. I'm going to assume that I was called because I live close to here. Maybe that's why I was called for this one, rather than the big game. Yeah. We'll find out, though. I'll go sit in the crowd and heckle the commentator.
Nice run there from Mount Carmel there on the first down. They hand it off to freshman running back, Javon Burris. Burris sitting at 5'5". He's got plenty of room to grow as he scampers ahead for a nice gain there on the first down.
I don't know who the commentator is going to be, but I'm recommending Coach Kevin Solomon from Chesapeake High School.
Ooh.
He's very good at commentating.
Another high snap.
And that's the polite way of saying he loves to hear himself talk.
Well, whatever the case is, I'm glad that you were here with me tonight, Coach.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a pleasure calling the game with you. Always happy to have a partner.
Oh, yeah. This was fun. Sometimes you got to get off the basketball court, do something different.
What do you guys have coming up?
Tomorrow we play
Rosedale Christian.
Rosedale Christian, yes. Tomorrow we play in what's known as the EBA Play Day. Ooh. It's a bunch of the local schools getting together, competing for the fall, getting ready for their season. We play McDonough out of Owens Mills, MIAA conference team, and we play Mount Carmel, also an A conference team, and the Baltimore Catholic League team. So should be a challenging day tomorrow.
Some great ball.
Looking forward to it.
Good. When does the season start?
Our first game is November 6th at Curley.
Ooh.
Yeah, so.
Big one.
It's going to be interesting. We'll bring the whole city out. It'll be our first time revealing, what our program really looks like. We should have our entire team together by then.
Very good. Very exciting. Good luck in your first season with Rosedale.
Much. Yes. So we'll be representing the Rosedale community, all of Baltimore, Under Armour and Kerry brand. And I expect to see AC Sports in the building. I'm just throwing it out there, Don't know what his schedule's like. He's really busy. He's a really busy guy. He's a really busy company, But
well, I hope if
I'm
AC
going
Sports,
on record now.
If AC Sports is in the building, I hope I'm in the building as well.
There you go. Yes, indeed.
Couple more bad snaps from Mount Carmel. That'll probably be that'll have to. I mean, they got a couple of things to work on.
But that's got to be number one.
That is going to have to be number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that was a absolute drive killer a couple times for the Cougars to take a timeout here on fourth down. Clock stops at 1:27 left now.
And some of those bad snaps are miscommunication, cold hands. I mean, there's multiple variables that could be going on, but you have to get to the root of the problem for that. We're looking at a 3rd and forever. If my math is right, it looks like it's about 3rd and 49.
Yeah, it was quite a long one. So the snapping. I mean, center is such a tough position to play because, if you do your job right, you never get mentioned.
Yeah, exactly.
You never get mentioned.
Yep. But boy, the first time you do anything wrong,
oh yeah,
we'll be calling your number.
Yeah. So that'll be something that Mount Carmel is they will be addressing, I'm sure, potentially tonight.
Yes. That will be definitely part of the film breakdown, that's for sure. So now I'm just looking forward to my next photography session with Austin Carlisle. I'll tell you about him. Got a podcast coming up in the studios.
Ooh,
looking
nice.
forward to that. Yeah, we're going to talk a little basketball with my man Austin Carlisle. Yeah, it's a great guy.
Austin Carlisle Sports. That's what the AC is.
That's what the AC is. That's it.
AC Sports here. Right here on YouTube. And they're able to get the punt away. And
another high snap on the punt, though.
Mm-hmm. So bounces out at around the 42, 43-yard line.
So this should be 3 running plays, and everyone gets to go home, drive safely.
Indeed. St. Mary's
trip back to Annapolis.
St. Mary's has that trip back to Annapolis, and they will, I believe, that in what coach's exact words were to me was that around 11 p.m. Saturday night is when I will start looking at Concordia.
Exactly right.
And I think he might have started thinking about it somewhere around the third quarter.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
is when his game planning for that started.
And on that ride home, he'll be looking at the video now.
So kneel down. They're on first. First down for St. Mary's. Clock will run. The next snap should be with around 45 seconds left. They'll probably have to run one more play, and that is going to do it.
1 minute to go.
For us here at CCBC Dundalk.
The Mount Carmel parents are being asked to bring their gifts down for their senior athletes.
There we go. But CCBC Dundalk being very gracious hosts tonight.
Much so. Yes.
Tonight, let Mount Carmel make this place their home. Nice DJ setup
for the band. That was perfect. That was my first time experiencing that.
30 seconds left now. Going to get one more kneel down from St. Mary's, and that is going to do it for us here. And but yeah, the biggest takeaways are that St. Mary's looking to make a run here to B Conference Championship. They'll get their first big test against Concordia next week in Annapolis for their homecoming game, and then Mount Carmel, they're going to have to head back to the drawing boards. Yeah. It is nice though that they still sit there with a win though.
Yes.
In conference play after beating St. Paul's last week, as they have some things to figure out on the offensive line as well as at the quarterback position.
Yes, and the very competitive B Conference continues next week. I love it. It's what you want to see. You want to see your kids being challenged. This week and next, or just that. For both programs. Mount Carmel comes back and bounce back for a win next week, and they're sitting right there, right at second place or so.
Yeah, they'll be right.
One game behind.
They will be right behind Concordia and St. Mary's.
Loser, right? The loser of that, they'll be one game behind. Yeah. So.
Yep. So
you're still in it.
Yep.
You just got to keep working. Work out the kinks.
So still a lot to build on for Mount Carmel and Coach Courtney Bridget in his first year with the Cougars.
Yep.
In his first year as the head coach with the Cougars.
Yes. But again, my biggest takeaway is Mr. Pettibone. Impressive.
Yep. Pettibone, 3 quarters, he put on a masterclass.
Yes.
For those first 3 quarters. And, very, very fun quarterback to watch. Should be a great matchup. He'll be going against Jordan Brooks, the quarterback of Concordia, and Keyshawn Mister, one of their hybrid quarterback running back that Concordia uses. And should definitely probably be a high-scoring one, I would think. Both offenses are very explosive. Right. And it'll be an exciting one down in Annapolis next week.
It's in Annapolis.
Yes.
Oh, that's why he didn't invite me to that one. Oh, perfect. Okay, I feel better now. Okay, I feel better now. That's a little longer of a ride.
Good. I'm glad we didn't want to make you feel too bad.
Yes, I feel better.
Yeah, big thank you to County Sports Zone and PressBox. But the Saints, they improved to 6-0 overall, 3-0 in the conference. As they take down the Cougars of Mount Carmel, who they'll fall to 2-4 overall. Excuse me, I believe 3-3.
3-3 overall.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then 1-1 in the conference. Mm-hmm. They'll be back in action next Saturday again for a home game against the Curly Friars. And then next up for St. Mary's is, of course, Concordia in the battle for the top spot of the B Conference. Our next scheduled football broadcast here on AC Sports will be on Saturday, October 9th. That's our next scheduled broadcast as of now. We'll see what happens until between now and then, but that'll be a 1 p.m. game between the Concordia Saints and Boys Latin. You can catch that right here on AC Sports on YouTube. So that's all we have. Thank you so much for tuning in. For John Miller, who's our producer, director, cameraman, who does everything for us here at AC Sports, and for my broadcast partner, Coach Charles Hebron.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. It was very pleasure to have you up here in our well, I was gonna say booth, but but I'm Griffin Bass. St. Mary's takes down Mount Carmel by a score of 41-14. So long from Dundalk, and have a wonderful evening, and please enjoy your weekend and drive home safely.